Hi guys, Steve Capose here at the Adventuring Camping School in northeast Thailand. What I'm going to do is build myself a floor at my base camp. Now when it rained, I had water coming across my base camp. Now what you can do, there's a few options. This is pretty much the easiest way. You can build yourself a whole floor over the entire base camp area, or whatever shelter you've got, but I don't have to. I've got my bed in the middle of the roof. When it rains, water comes off the edge of the tarp. I've got the bed in the middle, and the bed becomes not just a bed, but a raised platform, a floor, a table, a seat, right in the middle. Now what I can do now is break down the floor. I can build like a porch floor type setup at the front, down the sides, and behind the bed. I don't have to make a floor for the whole area. I'm going to save time and save material. So what I've done here, guys, is put down two support beams. They can be 3-inch poles or thereabouts, and I've got myself a whole heap of these poles, and these are just all round poles, 2 to 3 inch in diameter. That's all you need. Now what I can do, you can throw all these poles down like that, throw them down, and you've got yourself a basic floor right now. Got myself a floor. So you can see how I've got myself a floor. I'm off the ground. Water's going to flow under. No worries at all. Hey guys, this is pretty much step one for your floor. What we can do now to make these more stable is to put what I call a flat joint. Just a flat joint. I don't even know what it's officially called. I don't care what it's called. This is just my idea. I'm not watching people's YouTube videos and making it like I'm an expert. So I'm going to do what I call a flat joint. You're going to get your saw. Make sure you come in enough. We're going to cut down straight. Other side. Make sure it's nice and straight. Make sure you come in enough. Simple as that. Get your nice machete or big tool you can baton with. Put it like that, straight. There's a cut. Bang. Not even a quarter of the way in. You can use a baton. I'm just using my hammer. Bang. Clean it up. That's good enough. Other side. Make sure it's nice and straight. Bang. There's our cut. And actually you don't want too much, because then you can cut out more to make it even. Like that. Clean that up. Now I'm going to put that down just like that. Now it's stable. If I do that to all these logs, you can just imagine, perfecto. You make it nice and level. If it's uneven, you can just plane down a bit more. And there it is. So that's step 2. Step 3 is to make a flat floor. Now you can get your axe, your machete, and start, or a planing tool, some sort of planing tool, and plane it down. To make a perfect flat floor, you've got to go right to halfway. Doesn't have to be right to halfway. You can make a flat all the way for all these poles. Now, if you do that, you're going to waste half your wood. If you're not worried about that, doesn't matter. But step 3 is to split the logs or the poles in half, like I've done here. And that's a nice mirror image. And I've split that thing in half with my flat joints on either end. Look at that. I've now got, just like that, a perfect flat floor. It does take a lot more work, potentially, to split these logs in half. I used my machete to baton, an axe. You may need wedges, steel wedges, to split down the wood. So it is potentially more work. but you're going to get 2 planks for the price of 1. For 1 log, you're going to get 2 planks, perfectly flat. Okay, so once you've flat jointed all your logs, you can keep a gap, because if you come back later and split them, you're going to have twice as many. There's no need to cut enough logs like that. You're just going to waste material and waste time. There's no reason why you can't have a bit of a gap like that. And when you come to split them all, you're going to fill out those gaps anyway. And that's still going to be a floor. Let me knock down a few more flat joints to make it more stable. Alright guys, I've just flat jointed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 logs. There they are. And you don't want to get too fussy. You can just plane out your flat joints to make it a bit lower to even out these things. Any rough knots you can plane out. Like this one, I already used my machete to knock down these knots. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 knots. You can see how nice and smooth that is. So there it is. And that's not a bad floor, really. I can walk on that quite easily. But as I said, if you split these logs down the middle, which I've done for this one, it's 10 times better. There it is, check that out. Like that. So it's really step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1 is just logs. Step 2, knock out these joints, these flat joints. That takes 1 minute of work for each log. Not a problem at all. And you've got yourself a pretty good floor. But if you split the logs in half, bang, bang, 10 times better, a nice flat floor. Gaps, doesn't matter. But again, it depends how much work you want to do. Again, you can plane that flat. If you plane that down, you can get a nice joint lengthways and make it flat. And then I guess you can stop insects and things coming up potentially through the floor. So it all depends on how much work you do. We can call that step 4. So step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. And I've got myself a floor in the making. Okay guys, I hope you found that interesting, and I'll see you next time.